Where do I, 25F, break up with fiancé, 27M, if he's threatening suicide? I'm preparing to break up with my fiancé, together for 5 years, engaged for 6 months, due to his hidden porn addiction and paying hundreds and thousands of dollars on webcam girls while he's paycheck to paycheck, and I've been helping him out with the bills. This is the final straw, and my trust is completely broken, as well as my attraction to him for him doing this to me while actively planning a wedding. We struggled with this in the past, and he said that he would never do it again. And I actually believed he changed once he made the decision to propose to me, and I thought that would make things more serious to him, but clearly it's not. He is begging me to let him finally get help through therapy for his addiction, but I just don't want to be around for that, and I don't honestly believe that it will really work. I sympathize to some extent if he is struggling with an addiction, but my trust is just completely broken and I don't look at him the same. We currently live together with 2 cats, and both of our parents live about 5 minutes away. I could go stay with them, but I'm not sure where I should break up with my fiancé. A few times it's been mentioned so far after the discovery. 2 days ago, he's ran over to a kitchen knife and said he was gonna slit his wrist. I stopped him in time. I wasn't sure if he would actually do it or not, but he's also shown signs of wanting to commit suicide, and he is continuously begging me and saying that I can't leave him, and he loses me, he lose everything. I'm really concerned about his well-being, but also at the end of the day mine too and my cats. Do you think I should break up with him somewhere like a parking lot and then have my bags packed already so that I could go straight to my parents, or call his parents 911 if he is freaking out in the car, or also just to give his parents a heads up? I want to avoid breaking up with him at our shared house due to the fact that I think he would cause a scene, and I don't want a scene for neighbors, and I especially don't want to be in a house where he's threatening suicide. Too long did not read. I'm breaking up with my fiancé of 5 years, and I'm not sure where to fully cut the cord, whether it's in public or around other people, due to my suspicion that he'll blow up and possibly commit suicide with his threats. For your safety, I wouldn't do it in person. Get your necessities and kittens. Send him a message, then block him. He may turn violent on you. His threat is a form of emotional manipulation. If he threatens to harm himself, call 988 if you're in the US or the appropriate emergency services where you live. Call his bluff. From a logistics standpoint, what's the situation with where you live? Are you both on a lease? Or is it his place? Yours? I think you need to make your exit plan before you do this so you can keep you and your kitties safe. You have already informed him that you've ended the relationship. You don't need to have another conversation with him. Tell his parents about his suicidal ideation and report his threats of suicide to the police. He may need psychiatric help that you can't provide. The next time he's out of the house, pack up your important things and your pets and leave. Once you get where you're headed, let his parents know that he might need their support. After that, you have no further obligation. Block him and his parents and focus on rebuilding your life. Tell his parents about wanting to end the relationship and give them a heads up about his possible suicidal tendencies. Them living nearby is a blessing in your situation. They might be empty threats, but it's best to be safe than sorry. Do it in a neutral location with your bags packed like you said, but still close to home so his parents are as close as possible. Call the non-emergent line or 911 on all of his threats. I only had to do it once with my ex-husband. He was pissed but never threatened suicide again. If you're scared of, for someone, it is perfectly acceptable to break up with them over text. Yeah, it feels really shitty to end a 5-year relationship that way, but better shitty than no longer existee, ya know? I, 42F and husband 46M, don't know what this was. It was definitely something. I've been in the process of leaving my marriage, but I keep second-guessing myself. I don't know what this was. It doesn't look like the kind of abuse I went through in my past. But it also doesn't feel like love anymore. I keep trying to figure out if I'm exaggerating, if I'm being unfair, or if I've finally seen something I couldn't admit before. My husband is very generous. He brought me coffee every morning. He paid the bills. He did the grocery shopping. He handled logistics. But he also told me I couldn't make coffee properly. That I didn't know how to shop. That I was bad with money. He tracked my car and mocked me when I missed a turn. He installed cameras all over our house but refused to lock the doors or set the alarm. He insisted on leaving doors open at night, and when I said that made me feel unsafe, he said I was paranoid. He constantly looked over my shoulder when I was texting or using my phone. It didn't feel like love, it felt like surveillance. But I still don't know if that's a fair way to describe it. He would walk in on me when I was naked, on the toilet, or in the bathtub. When I asked for privacy or locked the bathroom door, he called me controlling. When I tried to set boundaries, he said I was rejecting him or hurting his feelings. Sometimes he would yell, slam doors, punch walls. He drove dangerously when angry, even with our kids in the car. Other times he would completely shut down and ignore me. Then he'd swing back and be affectionate and helpful, like nothing had happened. I was constantly off balance. There were many times I moved into the guest room or stopped speaking to him for days. Not to punish him, but because I didn't know what else to do. He scared me when we argued. I couldn't think. My nervous system would shut down. I'd freeze. I have PTSD, and I had just come out of an 18-year abusive marriage. I felt like I was constantly defending myself, there, and then again here. If I couldn't remember everything perfectly, he would use it against me. He told me my silence was dismissive, that I was stonewalling him. But I wasn't trying to hurt him, I just didn't feel safe enough to speak. In recovery, I've learned to manage my PTSD better. I've learned to speak up. I've started to set boundaries. I don't yell. I don't explode. But I've finally begun to name what's happening, and every time I do, it somehow gets turned around on me. Suddenly he's the victim. He sulks, shuts down, scowls at me, tells me I'm taking everything away from him. If I need space or rest or time to think, I feel like I'm being punished for it. He says he loves our kids, but he undermined my parenting constantly. I have ADHD. My kids have special needs. He treated that like a flaw in all of us. If I advocated for them, he said I was enabling them. He said they were manipulating me. But when I defended them, he said I was undermining him. The house became tense. My kids fight. They're scared of being corrected or blamed. They're even starting to micromanage me, like they've absorbed the atmosphere. Every time I try to create peace, he blocks it. He complains about every solution. But he also wants constant affection and attention from me, like none of the other chaos exists. But he's also an involved stepfather. He's taken over so much of the visible parenting, but I do all the stuff no one notices. My kids now defer to him for everything. I feel like he stole my relationship with them. He says my drinking did. I don't think that's fair. I didn't have a drinking problem for 80% of their lives. He used therapy language to explain away his behavior. If I made connections to past trauma, he said I was just projecting. If I got upset, he said it was my PTSD, not his actions. He said he was scared I didn't really love him, that I'd used him as a soft landing after my divorce. He insisted on endless emotional conversations, hours and hours, where the subject kept shifting until I felt totally lost. When I asked to stop, he pushed harder. When I finally snapped, he broke down crying. Confused, desperate, like I'd harmed him. It was so destabilizing. We had agreed I would go stay with a friend out of state for a month. He helped me pack. After I left, he sabotaged my plan. He says he panicked. But from where I stand, it didn't look like panic, it looked strategic. He took steps that could have resulted in me losing custody of my kids. He called the police, my friends, my doctors, and said he was worried about my mental health. He doesn't know that I know what he did. I hadn't stood up to him sooner because he was supposed to be the safe one. I couldn't admit to myself, and I especially couldn't let my ex-husband find out, that I had walked out of one abusive marriage and into another. That I'd put my kids in another unsafe situation. I knew my husband for a long time before we moved in together. I never imagined he could become the person he's become. I feel like I was tricked. I couldn't fight two men at once. So I tried to be better. I tried to be less sensitive. I tried to adjust to his way of doing everything. I tried to keep the peace. Overlook the red flags. Bend and twist myself into someone who wouldn't be mocked or scrutinized. It didn't work. Everything I did was wrong. Everything my kids did was wrong. But he was also so happy sometimes. So loving. So generous. How can someone be both kind and cruel? Easy and hard. How can someone say you're everything to them and still make you feel like you're never enough? During the pandemic, I started drinking heavily, in the closet. It was the only place I wasn't on camera. I'm ashamed of it, but I also know it was a response to being trapped and scared. I know I'm responsible for my drinking. I also know that both of my marriages played a huge role in why I spiraled. I didn't leave because I stopped loving him. I left because I couldn't survive in that house anymore. Because I started to feel like I was disappearing. Because I started to believe I was going crazy. And now that I've taken some space, I'm finally trying to understand what happened. His family thinks he's a saint. They act like I don't exist or I'm a gold digger. They think he stood by me. But he didn't. I did it all alone. I gave up everything to be here. I have no family left. He makes much more money than I do. I can't even afford an attorney. I feel like I'm standing at the edge of something I still can't name. This doesn't look like the abuse I've been through before. But it also doesn't feel like love. I don't know what this was. I just know that I feel erased, exhausted, and confused. I've been trying to fix this for years. I've gone to therapy. We are in marriage counseling. I've gotten sober. I've begged for peace. But nothing ever really changed. It got worse, I think. I'm just not sure. It feels worse. It just feels intolerable. Death by 8,000 cuts. If you've experienced anything like this, if any of this sounds familiar, please tell me what you think. This is abuse. I don't even need to read the whole thing. The first couple paragraphs make that clear. What he's doing is controlling, manipulative, disrespectful, financial abuse, etc. I can't tell you how many posts I've seen with someone saying, "My partner is great and wonderful except for," proceeds to list extremely lengthy list of abusive behaviors. This is all extremely concerning, especially the dangerous driving and anger issues. This is abuse and you need to get out. After reading all of that, I just want to give you a hug up. Abusers are predatory and they know how to pick vulnerable women. Your previous abusive marriage made you a vulnerable target for other abusers, but that is not your fault. Please look into some of the books others have shared. Please find a way to leave safely. There is either nothing here or just this link. All of the things you detailed here are 1000% abuse. You're making the right choice by leaving. You've been in a gaslighting, verbally, mentally, emotionally abusive relationship. Look up coercive control. Sounds like what he's doing here, and a DV shelter may be able to help you get assistance getting out. My 21M girlfriend, 19F, just kissed another guy. What the hell do I even do now? I am just utterly devastated. I was walking back home when I found my girlfriend's parents searching for me, telling me that she doesn't deserve me and that I shouldn't let her into my home if she comes. Utterly confused, I asked what had happened, and they just said, "Ask her." I rushed home and started texting her, trying to understand why her parents had come to my house saying such things. She didn't answer at first. She said she would talk to me later, and I respected that. Almost falling asleep, she texted to see if I was awake, and I replied that I was. That's when she told me what happened. A coworker who had been driving her home from work, since her car isn't working right, suddenly grabbed her and kissed her. She accepted the kiss, French kiss, even, and her mom saw it. They rushed to tell me, but I was out on a walk. We live just 2 blocks away. She says she's deeply sorry for it, that she doesn't understand what came over her or why she didn't push the guy away in that moment. She says she can never make up for it, and that she's overwhelmed with shame and that she has never done something like this to me before. I almost fainted hearing that. She is my first relationship, and we were just a few months away from our 3rd anniversary, my high school sweetheart. She never gave me any reasons to not trust her. I really wanted to marry her one day. I even gave her a promise ring. But right now, I have no idea what to do next. I spoke with some family members during the night, and obviously, they told me I should break up with her. That feels like the obvious answer, but my heart still can't believe this is truly over. I told her I couldn't break up over a phone call, I wouldn't get proper closure. So I asked to meet tomorrow in a public place to discuss everything, and most likely, to break up. I don't have any harsh feelings toward her. I'm not even sure if she's telling the truth about not feeling anything for this guy, or if she's lying. I just want to understand why. My heart hurts tremendously, and I haven't been able to sleep all night. But I still love her. Still, I know it wouldn't be fair to myself to just accept something like this. I'm just broken. What would you do in this situation? Your future wife and mother of your kids wouldn't do something like this. I'd break up. She's our girlfriend now. The streets. You don't tongue wrestle with someone that doesn't mean anything to you. She has some kind of feelings for him or it wouldn't have happened. Freezing up for a couple seconds is understandable, but for a whole minute, there's something else going on. I guarantee you that when you break up with her she will be dating him within the week. What a bunch of fiction. Her parents were out searching for you like a lost dog to tell you she's not worth it? Come on, get real. 0/5. This is so obviously AI. No idea how people are being fooled. Don't stay. You'll get cheated on again. You only know about it this time because her parents caught her. Do I, 26F, let my boyfriend, 27M, know his ed is affecting me? Hi everyone. I have been dating my boyfriend for about 6 months. I met him through a running club and we get along very well. I feel we are incredibly compatible and he makes me laugh so much. I could see us together for a long time. Recently, we started getting intimate and we have ran into some issues. I am the second person he has ever had sex with. We have tried about 3-4 times to do the dirty. Each time, he mentions how nervous he is and cannot get an erection. He basically just shuts down after we start getting hot and heavy and remains soft. He gets really upset honestly. He has mentioned to me that his prior girlfriend took his ed very personally and cried and he said it traumatized him. When this happens, I do my best to be supportive and let him know it's okay. I get that things happen and there's no shame in it. After the second time this happened, he said he was going to talk to a sex therapist about this and consider Viagra to manage performance anxiety. We had tried to have sex 2 more times after that and he still could not get an erection. The lack of intimacy is making it hard for me to feel connected to him and see him as a long-term partner. I feel like I'm subconsciously friend-zoning him and I don't want to do that. How do I communicate this to him in a kind and gentle way? Or will doing it make it worse? How would others handle this? Sex is a big part of a relationship, but I know it's not everything. Thanks all. Has he tried to give you oral or manual stimulation? Would you like him to? If he could give you pleasure and hopefully orgasms even without an erection, this would likely help take the pressure off him, as well as hopefully making you feel less unsatisfied. You should talk about the ed too, provided you can do so in a supportive way. As in trying to work through it together and seeing if there are things you could try to help. He has only been with 2 women and you are the second person. It could be performance anxiety, health reasons, not enough foreplay beforehand, etc. I would give him more grace and work with him how to ease him into doing the dirty. Amazon Pharmacy prescribes both Cialis and Viagra. You answer some questions online, which takes less than 5 minutes. Amazon Pharmacy then ships to your house, arriving within 48 hours of completing the questionnaire. It's like $60 for a 90-day supply. This is much faster, painless and embarrassing than going into the doctor's office. I haven't used Viagra, but 5 mg of Cialis daily does wonders. Have you tried an entire session of non-PIV? Taking some pressure off the act in question? He has other appendages, and it's possible it would make him comfy enough in the act to feel less stressed each time. Just get ed pills. Already. My question is, why is nothing else happening if he can't get it up? He doesn't do anything for you? Not fingers, not oral? Just gives up and leaves you hanging? I wouldn't stay with him. You're young and it's been 6 months already, and not only is he physically incapable of performing, but he won't even get you off outside of penetration? Ed aside, he's a selfish lover. If he wanted to make you come, he would, and he wouldn't need his dick to be hard.